Welcome to another episode of the Beck Lover Podcast, where you might learn a thing or two about life. You never know who we're going to have in our studio, where they came from in the world, what their story is, but I promise you, you're definitely going to learn something about life. Today, I have an extraordinary individual joining us in the studio. Not only is she beautiful, and not only is she famous, not only is she a beauty contest winner, Miss
Finland, Miss Kosovo.
She's a large TV personality back home. She's also a coach, mentor, businesswoman, entrepreneur, trainer. I mean, she does it all. She came and joined me last night for our event called Illyrian Summer, where we showcased Enisa, a very big pop star signed to Atlantic, who's taking social media by storm. Her music's absolutely wonderful. And I want to thank you for first coming to the event, and second for being here in the studio today to talk about your life and the important work that you're doing.
First of all, thank you so much, Beck, for having me. I'm so happy to be in New York. I'm so happy to be in this event that was yesterday. It was amazing feeling to be with lots of people, surrounded by really big stars like Enisa and you and so many other people. So for me, it's a privilege to be here, straight from Europe, to come to New York and to feel the vibe that you have here, guys. It was an amazing feeling. Thank you so much.
It was really crazy yesterday with traffic and gridlock, the president's in town, United Nations Week. For a lot of people that don't understand, people that don't live in New York, most New Yorkers, we don't like United Nations Week. Not because of what they're doing, it's because of the traffic. Because they all have their own secret services, right? Yeah. So you got to deal with them shutting down roads, blockades. Yeah. Sometimes that takes hours before the roads can clear even a little bit. You saw yourself. It was
it was awful. It was like fully packed. We couldn't like drive nowhere. We had to walk a few blocks always to get somewhere. So it was like, appreciate all the people who came last night. I know that it was a hassle. So thank you so much for everyone who actually took the time and energy and came.
And a reminder to those of us that live in the New York City area just how significant New York is. It literally is still the capital of the world because all the world leaders come there to meet and discuss basically how they're going to maybe make our lives better.
Easier.
But I think they need to work on that a little bit more.
A bit more, yeah, definitely.
In any event, Juliana, we're going to talk about a lot of important stuff.
Yes.
What it's like to and you were on a really crazy TV show that people have heard of, Big Brother.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that because some of us don't know what that is and really how difficult of a show that can be to take part in, where you really can't even leave that house for months and months at a time. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. So where did life start for Juliana?
Just to introduce myself, first of all, I was born in a really, really poor family back in home in Kosovo. And I left like 2 weeks old baby. My father, my mom decided to leave the Kosovo because they had problems with the, war problem with Serbians and so on. So my dad was involved in politics. They just couldn't live anymore there because they were afraid of, that they would be killed by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So everything was like a bit like question mark always for our family. So my parents decided to leave for Finland because they heard that Finland is, Scandinavia is one of the most secure countries in the world. And good education, good, healthcare, and that's what we needed. Because when I was born, I had a really bad illness in my eyes. That's why my other eye is a bit smaller than the other one, because I had like 3 big surgeries in my eye. Back in home in Kosovo, the doctors didn't want to operate me when I was born. So we left, half of our family left to Finland. I got the healthcare and everything fixed for little baby. And then we started life there, but the life wasn't easy in Finland. Even we got a really good healthcare and education and everything and, finances. But for us, for Albanians, we always thought about the families that we left in Kosovo. So I started working when I was only 8 years old in a blueberry field. So what it means, during the summertime when we had 3 months off from schools, me and mom and 5 of my siblings, we went to collect blueberries for 12 hours. It was really hard work to collect like 70 liters every morning and sell them next day to the nearest store or supermarkets. So I understood from the really, really young age that without work, you don't have success. And from then we kept all our families alive back in Kosovo in Albania.
So you guys were picking the blueberries
Yeah.
in Finland.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
not in
No, in
Kosovo.
Finland. I was 2 weeks old baby when we went to Finland, so I don't know anything about living in Kosovo and Albania because I was almost born and lived all my life in Finland. I just grew up with a really, really like Albanian mentality and Albanian tradition, which I really appreciate. My parents did that for us.
And your family left not only because you had a medical situation, but they left before the war broke out?
Yes, so the war broke up like 97 it started, but actually we Albanians in Kosovo, we have had, you probably have told the rest of the
they know.
people that when it
was
started.
really bad
It
for a
started
while.
like actually in 19th century, but 1921 we had a big war with Serbians, we always have had. But 1981 was the worst case scenario.
Uprisings, yeah.
When dad was involved in politics, and as a family of a politician, we were always scared of death because people just disappeared every day. Yeah. So that was the reason in 88 why we left Kosovo. But in Finland was hard. We worked every day. I was the youngest from the siblings, so I was 8 years old when I started working. Then we went to the car industry business, so we had like car washes. I remember every time after school we had to go to wash the cars. You know, we were 6 kids. 6 kids is a lot of employment. So, you know, we worked hard and we managed to do really good financially. And now we have a big businesses in Finland. We are one of the most successful Albanian family in Finland. But to come to this point, it took us many, many years to work really hard.
A lot of berries.
A lot of berries for a couple of years. And then after that, a lot of cars. And after that, a lot of restaurants and so on. And now we have a construction
Slowly
business.
Climbing out of
Yes.
the gates of hell, as I call
But
it.
before that, I was, during this time that I've been working 25 years now, I've been like modeling, I've been in beauty pageant, I've been, working as a different assistant. I've been working in like investment banker. I've been working for JP Morgan. I've been working for a lot of different companies. I did even my medicine degree and I worked as a doctor a couple of years. So a lot of people think how old are you? But when you work hard and you do a lot, you can do in really, really short time a lot of things. And that's, I think, it's hard thing to do everything in short time. But I think there's nothing that can stop you. And if I tell people that, I'm not even going to go to Big Brother yet, but actually when I was a model, I was really famous. Like I just won a beauty pageant back in home in Kosovo. I remember that like...
Which pageant was it for?
Miss Kosovo. So for Miss Universe in US to come here. So I remember there was a moment when I was like blackmailed with as a young girl, you like a guy, you start dating him and so on. And when you are in 2 different countries, of course you send pictures and so on. We live in 21st century. Of course we do that. So there was a moment that should have killed me. And actually I just used that for my, I made it victory for myself. I remember there was days that I wanted to kill myself because those video that was released, I was blackmailed with a big amount of money. And because, we come from a really traditional Albanian family where, respect and honor and everything else, this kind of sex-orientated things is really forbidden in our culture. So when that thing happened to me, most people doesn't even talk to you. All the family, friends, media, everybody turns the back to you. So you are left alone with 1,000 broken pieces, and then you just think, which day you're going to kill yourself.
So let's slow this down because this is important.
This is really important.
Okay, and I know there's a lot of information here. So you kind of enter the public world when you win the pageant.
Yes.
Okay, now was it for Miss Kosovo?
No, I was first doing modeling for Finnish these kind of agencies.
Okay, like
because
modeling,
I was
print work.
Yes, because I was different. I had brown hair, brown eyes. Finnish girls are blue eyes and blonde, so it was something exotic for them. But after this, I entered Miss Finland 2008, and then I entered Miss Kosovo 2010, and the video thing happened 2010, where the things went really, really bad. And that's why I want to concentrate not on the goods, what happened in my life, but the things that
you got through.
I got through. So people who are listening to us, people who want to benefit from this podcast, they know that if that girl with that fame, with that kind of strong family and with that strong environment, this can happen to her. This happens to thousands and millions of women and men every day. They get blackmailed in different way because we live in this 21st century where, we have phones and we have laptops and we have hackers and we have whatever. So people have
The
to...
hackers are really good at this stuff. I mean, they've hacked some of the biggest celebrities in the world.
Yeah, not... it's
So
10
it's
years
like,
ago, it
you
was
know,
like Riri,
Cloud
Rihanna.
system. So
Yeah.
even right now, Caesars Entertainment, huge multi-billion-dollar corporation, MGM, both in the same week had cyber attacks, extracted all the information, licenses, social security numbers, let alone getting pictures, which is not hard to do, and videos off someone's phone or cloud.
That's nowadays really easy.
Or their storage if it's on a server, because people have backups. So basically, I think the first lesson here is like, is it even really worth sending these images? And everyone does it. Let's be, everyone's kind of with someone they're intimate with, or they FaceTime, and you don't know if they record. So like, it's like the risk of dating in the 21st century.
It's a huge risk.
But what I want my audience to understand that's not Albanian is that because you come from that culture, the humiliation was probably even 100 times more than it would have been for an American, even though for everyone it's horrible.
It's horrible for everyone.
Okay, but we come from a culture where it's like even less forgiving when something like that happens. It can be like a black stain on you forever. That's hard to wash off. So I want people to understand that you went through all of that and you've still been able to make a really good career back in the Albanian territories.
But remember 2010, when this happened, all my contract was deleted, forbidden for me. Like all the contract that I had overnight. It was like 3-minute thing. As soon the video was released to the media, I mean to the YouTube, and then you know, porn sites and so on. I remember next day all the calls that I had from agencies, from model agencies, for contract that I had in TV and everything. I was publicly humiliated. I was publicly ashamed. I was publicly, you know, bad words. Like really bad words. And those moments...
Take me to where you were when that first happened. What was going through your mind, honestly?
Okay, let me explain how I felt that moment. So first of all, 3 days I was blackmailed by a person who I didn't know through emails. And of course I couldn't tell my family, and I didn't have courage to tell them, because my dad is, you know, an army person, a politician, and he has this kind of, you know, level of intellectuality that people, you know, adore him, and I don't adore him. So for me to do something like this, or to happen this to our family, was a big shame for me. So, and I was really young. Remember, I was only 21, and that was my first boyfriend. And I remember when I saw that email and I watched my video, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? And I remember I was just shocked. I couldn't even breathe. I didn't even know how to breathe anymore in that moment. Okay, then I was like, okay,
and people could tell it was you in that video, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like just like...
No. It was my face and my flat.
So they know it's you. There's no denying it, yeah.
So no. And then, of course, I collected the money. I was...
You're scared at the moment too, right? When you see it,
super scared.
like,
I was
God,
so sad.
How do I handle this?
I was crying maybe 12 hours, straight 12 hours. I didn't tell anyone. I just cried. And in the message it says like, you need to pay this by tomorrow this time. So of course I was a student.
What kind of money were they asking for?
A lot of money.
Like
as a student,
ballpark?
In Finland, of course, we work at the same time when we do school.
Hundreds of thousands, millions?
Yes, hundreds of thousands.
That's a lot of money.
So first amount of money I paid, and then I thought that this is going to be, as a 20 years old, you know, you believe this. And then I thought that, I got this, like nobody needs to know what happened, and I was blackmailed and so on.
Keep extorting you.
Then after 2 days I got a new call and saying like, okay, you have 2 days time to do the double amount. And I was like, oh my gosh, all my savings went in the first place, so what shall I do now? The second, I didn't know what to do. I called my dad in Finland. Remember, I was back in the days living in Kosovo for a few months, because I was doing the exchange student medicine degree in Kosovo from Finland. And I called my dad and I was like, Dad, you need to come here. He was like, what's wrong? Okay, he you know, felt from the voice that something is wrong, that I've been crying like maybe 3 days, and I haven't slept at all these 3 days. I just felt it like I don't want to live this world anymore. So Dad came next day to Kosovo, and he sat with me and I said like, look, Dad, you remember the guy that I told you that I'm dating? This happened to us. And of course he went crazy. He was like, oh my gosh, you know, he was like thinking like, first of all, what to do, what to say, because, you know, he knew that I'm the person that got hurt here, and all rest of the family. So he said, like, there's nothing we can do. You know, we know 2010 that Balkans wasn't that good with security and with police and with everything else. And Finland doesn't take part in this because it didn't happen in Finland, because it happened in Kosovo. So Then we tried to manage it. So the video was released. And I remember just I remember those moments, those minutes. I get like in 1 minute, I got like hundreds and thousands of messages back in the days it was Facebook. And I was really famous Facebook. Like I had like a couple of million followers. And back in the days in Facebook to have a couple of million followers was a lot. Not like today, like Instagram, you can easily get like a couple of 100,000. All the hate message, like you are this, you are that, like different names. Like it was the hardest time of my life. I cried myself every night to sleep. Even I didn't sleep that much, couple of minutes always in a short time. But that moment was heartbroken. Like even today when I think, like I start crying because it's so painful to think what happens to me and what happens every day to people. And we don't talk about what is the risk today that we have these phones and laptops and hackers and we live in this 21st century. So this message always goes to people that whatever happens to you, like what should have killed you, whatever it is, like divorce, publicly humiliating, maybe a spouse taking your kid, or you are not seeing your kid, or you lose the work, your job, or you lose your finances or something. There's nothing that kill you. It's your mindset that you should just rise above that and work from the zero. I think the strong people are the people, the most successful people are those people who have gone through the most shit in their life. I think so.
Now, most people, and I agree with you, because it's through, as the wise Hamza Yusuf said, through despair comes enlightenment. So when we go through these very painful situations, it's just like you're in fitness. I saw you today training your clients through, online remote fitness training, because you're not there to do it physically right now because you're over here hanging out with us. But it's through these, just like when you work out, you rip your muscle. That's why it grows, right? You work out. So how long did you stay in that dark phase? And then how did you find the courage to come back out into the public after?
That's a really good question. So I'm going to tell you a story back that I think people need to understand, that this kind of trauma that happens, it doesn't leave from your mind and from your body like in a couple of years. I still have the trauma inside of me, but I'm training myself every day to be stronger and to be like healthy Juliana. So 2010, this happened to me in 27th of August. I remember the 3 days after the video released, I wrote a letter to my parents, that I wrote in those letter why I'm so sorry that I'm going to leave this world and I'm going to kill myself.
Basically wrote a suicide note.
Suicidal letter. And
where were you at this time, and where were they?
They were in Finland. Dad was back in Finland again. I was in Kosovo alone, and I had a plan how to kill myself and how to leave this world, because the pain was so big and I just didn't have any more friends. I couldn't go to school anymore. I couldn't do anything because I was like so in bad situation. Like, and everybody was like humiliating me.
Over there, everyone knows everybody.
Yes.
The towns are small. Even the cities. No offense to Pristina. I love you guys.
Yeah, but city is really small.
When I compare
really
Pristina
small
to New York, it's tiny.
It's really tiny.
So like you walk down the same blocks and avenues,
Everybody
especially and then everyone sees you. And we're very observant people. We have the eyes of eagles. Like we see everything.
And everything goes really viral.
So you basically at this point, period, are a prisoner in your own home.
Yep.
Because to just go out, everyone's going to see.
Yep.
It's not like a major metropolitan.
No, it's
area.
not.
We don't have 50 states. We have one state, very small. There's only 2 million people in the whole country.
Yes, but remember, Albanians internationally, we are more outside of Kosovo than inside of Kosovo. So we have Albanians 3 million. We have Kosovo and Albanians in Kosovo 2 million. Then we have like rest of the countries, like in Switzerland, Germany, diaspora, 10 million diaspora, which they saw the video too. So together it was like 15 million people watching the bad news. It's a lot of people watching your video, which is really intimate to your boyfriend.
These thoughts that were going through your mind to give up, and I can understand why they would enter your mind. I completely understand it. Even if we weren't Albanian, I think it happens all the time here in America. Like people get bullied, harassed, whatever, and they don't see a way out in their minds. They're just so ashamed. When really the shame should be on that person.
Yep, who did that.
Okay, because it's something intimate, something private. The intention wasn't for them. So how soon after it was released, these thoughts entered right away? Like, that's it? I want to, like, when you wrote this letter, was it like
this
a couple
was 3 days, a couple of days after the video was released? Yes. And then was a moment, I don't know what happened. I think God talked to me there was a moment when I was like in the place where I wanted to do the suicidal. There was a moment that I was like this is the moment, and something happened to me that moment, and I just like really cold breeze came to me, and like it was like a moment where I was like, why shall I do this? Like, I have to be stronger than this thoughts that I'm having right now. I don't know what happened to me. Like, there was like a few minutes, really weird thing happened. And then I was like, I'm not going to do this. I just looked at myself like a third person out of Juliana body. And I was like, what are you doing, girl? Like, what are you doing? You want to lose your life? You want to kill yourself because couple of million people who hate you right now doesn't know the story right. They're judging you.
Will probably hate you anyway. They hate it. I have so many haters. They hate you even when you're doing good things. Let's be real.
And then that moment was like eye-opening moment for me. And then I said to myself, you have two ways how to do this. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to make millions of people happy, or you're going to make your dad and parents and your family really sad, or you're going to be such a strong, badass bitch motherfucker that you're going to raise above that and going to work so hard that you're going to be a voice for thousands of millions of women and men who go through the same thing. So I chose the last one, the second one. And I remember I packed my bag, went back to Finland, did different courses, how to, like psychology courses, because I did my medicine degree in there. So my focus was how to work mentally with people, like mental health sector. And 3 years I worked on that. I did that for me, first of all, and then for the rest of the people. That's why I entered to fitness industry, mental health fitness. And that's what I do online coaching nowadays. So women doesn't come to me only to lose or to look beautiful and thinner and so on. They come to me because they want to
boost
manage
their morale, self-esteem,
the mental health, the self-esteem, the how to become unstoppable you. And that's what I teach people through fitness, body, mind, and soul through fitness. And that's what I'm really happy to say, that I overcome something really bad, and 3 years learned how to overcome that. And I made that package that I went through 3 years in a 3-month package that I sell right now online. So women can do that. What I did for 3 years, they can do in 3 months through my online coaching. And it's been really successful. I'm really happy that women are finding the way how to overcome their traumas. It's hard work. It's not easy. It takes a lot of courage. You have to face your traumas. You have to face your problems, issues, everything. And we just teach them how to do that and how to be strong with them, next to them, holding their hands, and to go together those moments. Because it's not easy. Most of people just take the first option, like I would have done it, to kill themselves. But that's not the right.
So many do. And
so many do.
From my understanding, I could be wrong, so correct me, but I know we do have a struggle with mental health, especially, listen, America.
America is
okay,
big.
but also Albania. And I feel like we
Europe
lack a lot of the portals, especially in, the Balkans,
yeah,
where people are embarrassed to go get help,
yeah,
or they're scared to get help, or they don't feel like they have anyone they can talk to. And I feel like when you got no one to talk to, the only person that's going to talk to you is the devil. Yep. That's that voice that tells you just give up. You should kill yourself. You should jump off a building.
Like, how did you do that? How
it's just like this evil force that's just, you start to believe that voice.
Yeah, yeah. When you're on that moment, you start to believe in that voice.
So you did come very close to dying.
Yep. I was really, really close, like a couple of seconds part of the death. And that was that after 10 years, I became again a really, really famous person in the media. I came back with a reality show. Now after 10 years, like that happened 2010. Now we are 2023. So 2022, I got a call from a big media, like TV presenter. And he said, like, Juliana, we are doing Big Brother reality show. So to the people who doesn't know what is this reality show, it's a house where they put famous people. There's a like normal Big Brother, which is for people that are not public faces, and for the public faces who are VIPs, this is the second like different.
So one house is unknowns, the other house is people that are like singers, actors,
yes.
Public personalities, social media.
Yeah. So I entered to this house 2022 in September, and the person
2022?
2022.
So very recent.
Yeah, last year. And And when I got the invitation, they said to me, Juliana, you have overcome so much traumas and stuff. We need to have a public like face like you are, a person that people know your story, half know your story, but you are so strong personality and your mentality is so Scandinavian. We need you to bring the package that you are in this reality show. And I thought, like, I remember the guy on the phone. I said, like, look, I'm right now struggling with everything. Like, business is a new business. I have a lot of people. I have to train them. It's not a right time to go to reality show. He said, like, Juliana, we need people like you. So I entered to this reality show. I was the most voted, most liked person in the history. And to be this person, you needed to be really, really a lot of courage. You have to have a really strong personality, strong character, and to have a really, really strong mental health, which I have worked more than 13 years in my mental health. And when you tell people that to be successful in this kind of household, this reality show, where you can't even have phones, you can't have any information for outside world.
So it's 4 months.
It's 4 months.
How many contestants in your house?
15 was in the beginning, but somebody goes, they voted out,
Elimination.
they voted in, it's elimination.
How often do they get eliminated?
Every weekend we got eliminated from the house. But new people come and go, so together we were 25 people. I was the person who came the first day and left the last day for 4 months. And I was.
So you made it to the end, you just didn't get the title.
Yeah.
It was just 2 of you left.
Yes. And
so let's go into, because this is a lot of really cool stuff I want to talk about. So you didn't really know any of the, you might have known a few of them who they were, but you didn't know them, know them, like how.
No, I knew the singers, I knew the actress, I knew the
yeah,
like.
But it's not like they were your friends.
No,
or you knew them,
I never talked to them privately, never in my life. So
you're
I met
living
them
with
there.
15 people that you really don't know each other.
Yep, that's.
And the camera's on 24/7?
Yeah, we had 37 cameras, 24/7.
What about when you take a shower?
Everything was like the like.
They don't show you naked,
yeah,
but
they don't
if
say,
they look in the bathroom, they can see that you're in the shower.
Yeah, they can see
crazy.
that but they were like this kind of shadow thing in the
it's blocked.
so they can't see like the intimate part. But we had 2 games during the week. We had the electricity game, and then we had the food like grocery game. So you had to overcome, or you have to win these games to have food on your table or electricity. So sometimes when you didn't know how to work together with the people.
So if the team doesn't perform collectively.
Yes.
And you fail the challenge, then
you
what, for
lose.
1 whole week, no power?
No power, no food.
No food.
No food. So that's why you had to be really, really smart. How to manage yourself there and to be really smart.
Did you guys have no food, or would you say,
Yeah.
this is crazy? I didn't know. Now I would like really want to watch
it's really hard game. So if you're weak, like mentally, don't go, don't enter,
are
because
you
you're gonna
allowed
broke
to
out.
like save food on the side if you need it? Or?
No, because everything is like everywhere there's cameras, so you can't like save food.
So
and
they'll
stuff.
take the food from you. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
I mean,
like
if you lose the,
you're not allowed to be
game,
like, oh, I'm going to save some of my dinner just in case we don't win the challenge.
Of course, you could do that. But
Are you allowed to or no? What are the rules?
We are allowed to do everything that is in that week. But if next week we finished the food
from last week,
we have what we had last week. But that wasn't anymore a lot because we already ate that.
It's not
because
fresh
we're 15.
and it's
not fresh, and it's usually not good.
It's very
to eat.
challenging.
It was.
So
It's
were
a
there
challenge.
weeks where you guys had no food for real?
There was a week that we lost the electricity, and there was a week that we had only 20% from the budget. So budget was €1,000 1 week for 15 people to eat. So that was like in 3 days it was gone, because people eat, of course. So I was the only person who actually knew how to survive. So I usually, because like our Albanian moms, they teach us how to do bread with the minimalization of the like radiant, like
you were making burek, or
we
what
were
is
making
known
pita
as
burek.
in the English language. You know, if you guys ever had spinakoptikis, what the Greeks make, spinach pies, meat pies,
that
flour
what I made
pies,
every
cheese
day,
pies.
because it's cheap and good, and you don't need a lot of radiant.
Basically, flour, butter,
water and
then some type
salt.
of filling if you have.
Yeah, filling if you have. So that what I made a lot. I made like 137 burek in 4 months. And I was the only one who was cooking. I was the only one who was cleaning there, because most people didn't even know to do that. So that was a challenging for people. So this comeback was really strong for me. So Albanians understood my history, what happened in 2010.
You weren't fully over the scandal in your mind up until this point. So going on that show kind of gave a chance to show you guys have seen
my bad.
something you should have never seen.
Yes.
Something that was private, never intended for the public. I didn't want it out there.
Yes, and they didn't know the story. They thought that I did that because I wanted
But they
to
got a
release
chance
that.
to see who you are.
Yes.
For 4 months.
Yeah.
24/7, the cameras are on.
Yes.
And you feel that even though you didn't win
Yeah.
the
because I came
money,
the second.
because how much money was on the line?
200K.
You feel that it was a victory morally for you, your family, for everyone.
For me, victory was to actually tell people who watched us that whatever should have killed you, whatever story you have, any trauma.
And that's pretty, it's
you
up there.
can overcome that.
Yeah, that type of humiliation.
It's a big thing.
It's huge.
It's huge. Most people never come back from that. They just disappear, move to another country where nobody knows them, and they keep really privately, like no Instagram, no nothing.
Yeah, they just give up.
This is just a give
They
up.
want to hide.
But
basically.
when I wanted to come back stronger than ever and tell people, like, actually, I paid a big price to never that happen, that video. But even that video happened, I paid big price in my career wise. I worked always 3-4 times more than the rest of the people because I knew that some people never going to take you seriously because they think, oh, I'm going to Google you, I'm going to do this. But that's not me. That never should have been there. I was blackmailed. I'm the victim. So we never understood.
Victimizing the victim.
Yeah, that we have to actually respect and give care and love to victim people that have gone through something like that.
Who have been blackmailed.
Or blackmailed. Yeah, true.
It's true because, even throughout, here in America, like women's rights, like they would, have accuse someone.
Yeah.
And they would like really interrogate them and like they felt like they were a victim twice.
Mm.
So what do you think? I mean, have we come a long way?
I mean, where we have been.
In the Albanian territories compared to where we were 50 years ago.
I mean, I'm Finnish Albanian, so I live in
You've seen
Finland.
the West. You've been in the US plenty.
Yeah, I've been like in
London.
the US like 30 times. I live in London 6 years now. I've been 25 years living in Finland. And I lived a couple of months in Kosovo when these things happened. Now I have been living 4 months in Kosovo and in Albania. So I've been all over the place, actually. I've been living in lots of places. But when I see 50 years ago where Scandinavia and Balkans or US have been with a women's right, we have moved a really big step forward. But where we need to be, we are really far away. Because we are still not equal to men's right. We are still not equal to salary-wise. We are not same equal in so many aspects. But when it comes to divorce and stuff, of course, women have maybe a bit right there because they are mothers and they have the nurturing part, which men not always. I'm not saying nothing that men doesn't have it, but they have it. But women are born to do that, so we have that part. But most of aspects we are not yet there where we need to be. That's why I work for human rights and women's rights, and I do work with UNICEF, and I talk lots of different aspects in this field because I think our voice needs to be heard. And when we are equal, then we can. And I think when I talk about the equal, I don't mean equal 50-50. I mean like where we are good, we women. Yeah, justice. And where you are good, you're going to do that. Because we are different. Like God have created us differently.
See, I believe men and women are equal.
I think they
in
are
the
equal.
eyes of God, but they're different creatures.
Different creatures, definitely.
There's certain gifts that God gave women, and He gave men.
Yes.
And He gave certain obligations to women and certain to men.
And I could never ever be a man, and man never can be a woman.
My argument to women is you'll never see a country create an all-female army to invade another country. And if they did, they would probably lose. And it's just because physically...
Nowadays,
so when I say equal...
Not,
this is because people want to make these stupid arguments. No, we are equal.
We are equal.
Because we have gifts that we bring to life that make us equal as individuals. What a woman does carrying life in her womb.
Which is the biggest...
Nurturing.
Gift that...
And so we are equal. We're different, but we're equal. We have more testosterone. You have
estrogen.
People want to argue about the stupid.
And that
parts
makes
of
beautiful this nation because we need men and women to build something beautiful, alive in this world, and not like hate each other. But I'm just saying that we need still to have the rights that men already born with the rights.
What would you say to someone who might, and it's happening every second around the world? Maybe they sent that picture to someone. They trusted them.
Thank you.
And they come into this position where someone gets a hold of their images, because a lot of times it's not so much that it gets hacked, it's you break up with someone because you don't know. Only God knows the future.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to be with them. And things cease, right? The relationship ends, but they still have these images of them, and sometimes it's called like blackmail. In America, it's illegal.
Yeah.
You get caught with that, you're going to jail for using, if you do it like that. It's different if it's hacked and someone puts it up there, but if they can prove in a court of law that I sent these pictures to someone and then they use it to they're going to jail for extortion. It's a felony in America. What would you say to someone who maybe did these things, the relationship ended, and now their ex is telling them, I'm going to put all these pictures of me and you, all these videos of me and you. If you don't pay me this money, would you just recommend that they don't? Because the way I look at it, they're probably going to either A, keep extorting you, keep asking, because now it's like they've kidnapped your dignity is what they've done. So they're holding your dignity hostage, your morals, in the eyes of the world. And so to me, I would never play ball. It's like they say in America, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
You want to make your move, make your move. I don't think paying them is the right thing.
I know now, if you ask me, of course the
I'm
pay
saying,
is...
so that's what I'm asking you. Would you agree
I
that's
would
probably...
never agree
tell
to
them,
pay.
if you want to put it, put it.
Thank God, in 10 years or 15 years, things have changed in this aspect too. Nowadays, we have people who are really good with finding who is releasing the pictures or who has pictures that...
And there are criminal charges for that.
Yeah, definitely. And thank God we have them.
Kosovo has those rules now too?
Yeah, finally. Finland, or like Scandinavia have had them a long time, and US, you have them too. In Balkans, they are still working on them. But definitely all the people who go through the similar thing that I've gone through, don't pay. Just be strong, overcome the problems that you are facing, and just reach to the right people to get help. That's really important. I didn't do that because I was scared. I was so scared. And I was embarrassed, even to telling my parents was embarrassing. And I remember that I didn't have anyone next to me. I was all alone. And it was hardest time. And when you're alone, you have different thoughts. And when you have bad thoughts about life, that can happen. You can kill yourself. You have suicidal. And that happens often nowadays. And because that what happens, percentage-wise, is really big. That's why I came here to talk with you, Beck Lover, and to tell whoever listen to us that please don't stop your life because of this, because there's always a situation how to get over that. There's always a road to go, a new path. Doesn't matter if you go alone or with...
And it's really not the end of the world.
And in the end, when you are old, you're going to probably laugh to that.
Yeah, it's really not
I'm starting to laugh to my, I'm so above the trauma that I went through.
How young were you then when that happened?
I was only 21.
Yeah, so just...
30 years ago, it was a big thing for a young girl who was really famous. And then a few months ago, a TV presenter killed herself in UK, in London, when this happened to her. Still, this day, this happens. And this is so sad. It happens
in every country.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So if you've been out there and there's a dick pic of you or whatever it is, it ain't the end of the world.
Yeah, just overcome with a laugh and say if...
Hopefully it's a good picture.
Hopefully it's a good picture, good angle. So if people want to blackmail you with that, just, go ahead. You just have to understand that if your family, friends, the community where you're living right now doesn't understand that, they don't deserve you. Simple as that.
I'd say Kim Kardashian did pretty well for herself.
I mean, she did it well because she made a business out of it.
She made billions.
But not everybody's like her. No. I don't know, did she really...
I think that's the greatest example of overcoming that.
Yeah. She made $1 billion out of a business where she was...
Compromised,
yeah. But not everybody.
And it's the key lesson in life. Things are going to happen. Shit's going to happen. Yes. Nightmares are going to happen. You can either be the victim or the victor.
Yeah.
And you chose to be the victor.
And that's why for me it's really important that I'm here with Beck Lover to talk about how to make something that should have killed you to overcome the trauma and be a victor.
Because you can always make a comeback. So
always.
You do the show for 4 months.
Yes.
You're with a lot of large profiles in the house.
Yes.
And do people become friends in there? Is it really competitive? Because 200,000
really
is a lot of money in Kosovo. For 4 months, it's the average salary in Kosovo is $3,000 a year if you're lucky around that. For the average citizen.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so we never became friends there. I have actually a girl that was there with me. I kept her she's really young. She was only 25 years old. and Bresa, she's really good singer. I kept her like my little sister. So even outside, we are like friends, or at least sort of friends. But with the rest of them who was really competitive, no, because they knew that I was really, really good in this game. And not it was a game. It was me, Juliana. Just
I mean, the whole objective is to try to get people to get out of
yeah,
there anyway,
get out.
right?
So I used my brain. I used my
hold grudges
intelligence.
for that. It's like being on Hunger Games. Like I want to live. You know?
Yeah, like a Hunger Game.
I need to survive. I don't want to.
That's what happened, you know. They still are not so okay with like in good terms with
It's
me.
extremely
which is fine.
competitive. Huh?
It's really extremely.
It's weird because you kind of got to live with them, but at the same time trying to get them out of the game.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Now, when you're in there, you're completely cut off from the whole outside world.
I didn't know anything what happened, so I went so viral while I was inside. My name was clicked in TikTok and in Instagram 4.5 billion. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
4.5 billion, my name, and I was like, who would like click my name? But it went so viral inside the game that I played inside. It was so interesting, and people just loved the game that I did. So 50 million Albanian people watched that, and few other people who knew me from UK and from Finland and Scandinavia, they watched it, and now we are moving to the next big thing that's coming soon. I can't tell, but soon it will be viral too.
Another big show?
A big show.
Coming up soon?
Yeah, and then there's going to be a show in UK that I'm going to go, and that's going to affect me with the US market. So you never know. Maybe I will move in New York or LA. I don't know.
So what is it like to be a beautiful model, TV personality, even without it being famous, you know, just being an attractive woman? I'm pretty sure you get harassed a lot.
Yes.
Men like to be vocal when they're attracted. What is it like? First of all, let's start with the differences. What is it like being a beautiful woman in Kosovo? Do they bother you more than you would say in America? Because I've seen, you know, when we've been out, people have been staring at you and making comments. Is it the same? Is it different? Or is there one that's better?
It's different how they say it. Like in Balkans, they maybe are more vulgar. So
A little more direct?
a bit more direct, like they really want to tell you what they would do to you, which I think that's a bit too much.
I think that's borderline, you know, that's not borderline, that's just very...
So in like yesterday, I went to Central Park to run. So 6 a.m. you have only the early birds walking in the roads or on the roads in New York, and I remember people were like, "Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. Wow, who are you?" They were like actually coming to talk to you and stopping you. I was jogging to Central Park 1 hour.
Yeah, I saw. Listen, we've been hanging out for the last 3 days.
Yeah, you know that, and it was so funny because I'm you know, I'm a polite person, so a polite girl. So
but does it ever get annoying though? Because I've to be honest with you, as I've gotten older. And I'm guilty of it, you know. Sometimes when I was single and I would see a beautiful woman, I would try. But I'm very creative in the way I start conversation. I don't just go like, "Hey, you know, you're beautiful." Like, I don't think you have it. I think, you know, regardless of what type of woman you're trying to approach, you gotta be creative.
You have to.
Would
be
you
creative.
agree? Because like because the way I look at it, it's like sales.
It's a sales.
If you're saying what everyone else is saying, you're not going to get the customer's attention.
True.
I think you need to be daring, but not scary or a creep.
Yeah.
You need to be
confident.
funny, confident, because you got basically 1 second, right? So you appreciate the more creative approach, the more, you know, fun. So what kind of advice would you give to men who want to even try to talk to a woman of your caliber?
I mean, just have self-confidence and go talk to a woman. Just be like more creative, like what you're going to say to her. And as a high-value woman, as I am, I like men who are really self-confident. The difference of being beautiful woman and to have this attention from both, you know, sex, like opposite sex, or a woman too, it opens a lot of good doors, but at the same time, it opens a lot of bad doors too. So as a beautiful, I mean, I'm really down to earth, so I don't see myself as a really, really beautiful woman. I think myself as a person who is more beautiful character and personality. But it helped me a lot in my career as a financial worker, or as in different aspects of TV presenter or so on. But when we talk about what kind of bad doors it have opened to me, yeah, it opened me of really bad doors, like sexual harassment, you know, blackmailing situation with different sex tape, or a situation where men, like, you know, wanted to rape you, and there was a moment that you just have to run really fast not to get caught. And that happened to me when I was working. I was maybe 17. I was working in a grocery store in Finland, in Helsinki, and there was like 3 guys outside. I was closing the grocery store, and it was like nighttime, really, really dark, and I had to run really, really fast so they don't get caught, that I don't get caught. So those moments are really, really like, even today when I think, like, I get like a bit like, I'm not comfortable talking about that, because you remember the situation, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's why I always say, like, as a beautiful woman, there's a pros and the cons. But yeah, like, I think
a lot of pros and a lot of cons.
Definitely.
What do you want to say to women out there who may not feel that they're attractive, and they feel that I don't look as beautiful as Juliana, I don't look as beautiful as Kim Kardashian? Do you feel that the world puts a burden on women, that maybe they have to live up to these? Like, I've always said it, and I'll say it here publicly on the record. If I was you women, yes, we love it, I would never wear high heels. Fuck high heels. If I was a woman, I'd be like, I'm not participating. Thank you. I don't know how you guys do it. I wouldn't do it. Now, if you're doing it for yourselves and it makes you look better or whatever, and you like it, great. But doing it for everyone else, I mean, I've seen so many women, even especially in Kosovo and Albania, they have like deformed feet from wearing these types of shoes. I mean, why do women subjugate themselves?
I don't think that women wear, they put makeup and wear high heels for you, man. I think women wear for women. And you guys, you men, you haven't understood this. So. It's actually true.
I look at Instagram. Here's my opinion. I look at social media, right?
Okay.
I feel like they're doing it for the views. They know it's men. They want to get fucking famous and get money and OnlyFans. I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying all of them across the board. But you can't tell me there's not.
There's a small percentage that you're putting like 90% now.
You think so?
Not that. Yeah, no. I think women looks good for
hurt,
women.
If the feet
no, it doesn't hurt. Who says?
I don't know. Everyone always says.
I wore 6 hours shoes yesterday in the morning with a high heels.
You also just told me I can't walk 2 blocks.
No. I said because I wanted you to be a gentleman and pick me up from the hotel.
But we were gridlocked.
So that was the case.
But
I had a big
I'm in nightlife all the time. I see women literally taking their heels off.
High heels looks good on women. We have a nice leg, but we have high. It does hurt, but that's the pain that they go through. But women doesn't look good because of you men. They look because they want to feel good.
Not because of us men, but so you say they're not doing it to use this power against men?
You can't say that like they are doing that. Of course,
I'm being devil's advocate.
We like to be attractive. That's true.
To attract what?
To attract, first of all,
who?
Ourselves. Because we like what we see in the mirror. That's the first thing. You asked me, what would you say to a woman who doesn't feel as beautiful or doesn't look like Juliana? I feel I am the most beautiful person when a person gets to know me inside, not outside. I don't think that I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, but I think that because I know my value as a woman, as a complete woman, my self-confidence is really high. And that's what people get attracted to me. And if women understand that your attraction doesn't come how you look, but how you wear yourself, how you respect yourself, how you value yourself every day. I walk to the rooms with 10 older men in financial when I used to work in bank. And my confidence was what I sold. Not the beauty I was, not the product that I was selling. It was the confidence. It was I knew what I'm saying. I knew my market. I knew my target. I knew the value of intelligence that I had. And that's what sold. And of course personality, but not the beauty. Beauty is 2 seconds. But what you're going to do with 59 minutes rest of that, or for 59 minutes of rest of the day?
They've done studies that people that are considered more attractive,
they sell more,
are more successful.
They are.
That's why you don't see.
Get confidence more.
Yeah, so there is a direct benefit to being better looking in the sense that it does feed into your confidence a little bit.
It does a bit.
My question is, what is the woman who don't meet that standard in their minds and to the industry of the world and all that?
You can go to the fitness, you can make a nice body for yourself, you feel better, your endorphin feeds your happiness. When you are more happy, you are more successful because you love what you do.
It's men also, by the way.
It's everything is related to everything. And if people doesn't understand this, that it's your loss. But you have to analyze everything what you do. You have to understand that you have to invest in yourself.
Self-awareness.
If you don't invest in yourself, who's going to invest for you? Who? Your neighbor? Your cousins? No. It's you who is responsible for your life. That's it.
I agree in the aspect that, I think when we're younger, we put a lot more into looks than personality and honor and ethics and all this other stuff. I think as we get older, I'm speaking for me, myself, hopefully for men that think and use their brains, that I agree with you. I've met so many women in my life who are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I've spoken to them, I've dated them. After 1 or 2 dates, if the inside wasn't just as beautiful, I can't tell you how many dates I've walked out of. I would just pay dinner. I didn't care. Like, that's such a big piece of it, and I agree with you on that. Because, like, if you're beautiful, but you just don't act nice, you're not sweet, you're not a grateful person, I don't give a shit how good you look. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
I think a person, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. I think if you have amazing personality, where you invest in your brain and your intelligence and the way how you talk, what you talk, and charisma, of course, then you are such a beautiful person. But if you are beautiful and you are empty inside, what you can offer to that person?
Easter bunny. That's what I call it.
Easter
bunny generation.
Okay.
So in America,
I haven't heard this before.
In America, I don't know. I don't know about Europe, but in America during the Easter time, there's a lot of chocolates, like the eggs,
it looks beautiful,
and the bunnies. But inside, when you can smash it, it's empty.
It's empty inside the chocolate.
So I call this generation the Easter bunny generation.
Okay.
Or the Tin Man generation. Tin Man from the movie The Wizard of Oz. He was empty inside. He had no heart. He wanted a heart. So we look, and I feel like this is the whole world. This is across the board. We are struggling from this imaginary image of what we should look like, what a woman should look like, what a man should look like. And I think the fashion industry is very off in that department because I think most men don't want some skinny, bony girl like we see on the runway. We want women that overlap. I mean, I speak for myself and most men that I talk to. Healthy the way God designed them. I don't need all the pumped up lips and for me personally, everyone's different, but I agree with you. So the Easter Bunny generation are those who are gorgeous on the outside, but they're empty. And you know what? Most of them are not happy, even though they're beautiful. This is for men too, by the way. But handsome.
How many women we see in Victoria's Secret or runway girls, how beautiful they are. But when you actually meet them, they are so empty and sad inside. So for all the girls that you just asked me a question, what would you say to these girls? I'm just saying to all those girls who are watching this podcast, it doesn't make any changes or difference if you are really beautiful outside. But if you have amazing personality and you're a bit like sweet and you know that like you have a nice, beautiful eyes or beautiful like lips or something, it doesn't matter. It's the small things that makes you beautiful. Like, and nobody's perfect. Imperfection makes you perfect. I have a big nose. I have a smaller eye than the other one. And that makes me me. That's Juliana. That's why people love me, because people like reality. They don't like this fake, like you said, fake Easter Bunny thing. I know I'm not perfect. I know I have made mistakes. I know I love my mistakes, actually. I've grown to love my mistakes and how I do the mistakes and how I am as a woman and what I bring to the table and how I talk. Sometimes I talk too fast, but that's my part of my personality.
Same way.
Some people love it, some people doesn't like it. That's your opinion. That's not in my duty to make you happy what you hear. I love how I do this. And there's people who love it, and that's fine. People who doesn't love it, I can't do anything to that. Sorry. This is me, and I love how I am. And to come to this level of confidence that you are who you are, and you love what you do, and you love how you are, and you love the mistakes that you have made. Of course, you have to get better and not do mistakes, at least the same mistake. So you just have to...
Better not make that other mistake again.
Yeah, nah. So I just say to all those ladies and guys too, that it's not about outlooks. It's about inside and how you talk and how you bring yourself and how you carry yourself. You know that yesterday when I was walking in the Fifth Avenue, I wasn't the most beautiful woman walking. I was walking myself as a self-confident woman who is walking towards... because I was working and I was on the call, and because when I walk I can talk and I do business calls when I walk. So people actually stopped and asked, like, who are you? Not because they loved what they saw, but they loved not the look that they saw, but the way how I walked and the way how I carried myself.
Posture, I don't think people realize, shows a lot about where you are psychologically. As heavy as I am these days, and my stomach does pull me down, I always stand up. I always stand up straight when I talk.
Yeah.
You could tell a lot about someone's mental state just by how they stand. I agree with you on that. How they walk, how they look. You can tell, do they have confidence or not? Are they in a good place or not? Are they in a bad? So there's a lot that can be said about just the way you walk.
Just the way you walk, just the way you talk. Like if a woman or a person is a bit like down and like doesn't feel confident to talk or raise the hand like slowly, can I talk or something? No, like, and that's why I always train women through fitness, because fitness gives that endorphins and dopamine that we need every day, the dose, and that gives you that confidence of looking straight and feeling valued. And through fitness you get the straight, like good body, strong body, but at the same time you get a strong mindset. And with the strong mindset you walk to the room and you don't care anymore what people think about you. You think what I think about this rest of the people and how I can do what I want to do. And you find the strategy and the way how to do that too. And that's the difference of nowadays with these programs that I'm selling online.
So you do coaching and you do mentoring and fitness training. So where can people find these programs to sign up?
Everything is in online nowadays. So in my website, www.juliananura.com. So you can find there, and then you can start, having a one-to-one session with me, or you can have with other people.
And you do it in multiple languages, yes?
Yes, I do in English, in Albanian, in Finnish, in Swedish, and so on. So I speak 5 languages. So yeah.
And you speak English really well.
I can have some problems with English too, but it's okay. I'm learning. It's a learning process.
You're very conversational. I mean, you're really good. I mean, you're basically fluent. I mean,
I always say, Becky, like, there's no perfect person. My imperfection makes me perfect. And people love this broken English. The people love my broken Albanian. People love how I come across like really positive and happy and bubbly. But this is me. Some people are different. Some people are like this. You are a bit more serious. You are more like jokey. You're more New Yorker.
Well, I'm a clown to those that know me, but you caught me more in a very serious time of my life. We're dealing with a lot, but for me, without laughter, I can't get through the day.
Yeah.
Because life is hard enough.
It's hard enough, and that's why we have to have some humor in it.
Yeah, without the humor, I don't think I'd be here. So it's important.
And you're going through a lot, and you are doing so well. And there's a lot of, and I know you have done podcasts of your life and how hard it's been for you. You've been really lots going on right now, but you have managed so well. So your story inspires thousands of other millions of people who are going through the same thing that you are. And I know lots of people who are going through what I'm going through or what I have gone through. I know that
because people forget when they're drowning, right? They're in the ocean of despair. They're in that moment of sadness. They don't see a way out. And there's some problems that just don't have a way out. Your situation, there was no way out. You could have paid, you paid. It didn't work. You could have kept paying the rest of your life and it wouldn't have stopped that image from coming out.
Still I would have.
So there are, for those of you that are listening, there are some times where there's really just not going to be an answer. There's not going to be a solution.
You just have to face the problem.
Something fucking bad's going to happen. You're going to just have to be strong enough, and some of you are not, but you can't give up. It might be dark now. The lights might be off for 2 years in your life, 3 years. When I lost one of the most important people in my life, I at that time thought I would never get back up. I would never feel good again. Life would never have any purpose again. It took me years to get back up after I lost somebody I loved. But that's the whole point, guys. Sometimes it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to go through hell. You're going to eat shit. You're going to go through a hard time. You're going to go through fucking heartache. I bet you if they measured my tears and your tears in this life, it would fill this room.
Definitely. And that makes you who you are. To go through those painful situations grows you as a person. Because how are you going to grow if nothing bad happens to you? You're gonna grow with the good things? No, because you smile all the time. But those pain points are the most important situation in your life. That's gonna make you who you are in the future. And nowadays, I thank God that made me through that situation 2010. There's been a lot of other things that gone really badly in my life, but I'm just telling you one point because I don't want to tell you too much. But that point was a key point to my life. Do I really want to be this strong, independent woman for women's rights and talk about the situation that we go through? Or do I want to just be a small person and maybe a victim and kill myself one day, and then nobody's going to hear about Juliana anymore? And what? My parents is going to be sad. What did I leave to this world after me? Nothing. Nothing. But to be strong and collect those thousands of pieces and make yourself again strong and raise above the problems and talk loudly how happy and proud you are. That's hard. That's super hard. And those millions of women and men who are going through right now that problem, they went through that. Why I can't survive that? Of course you can. You just have to find the inner voice, the inner power in you, which we all have. You just have to find.
It is there. And
That's
sometimes it takes time to find it.
It takes time.
And it's
1
okay
hour.
if you're down.
Yeah.
Just don't stay down.
Yeah. Just do something. I always say, like, don't stay in one place. I don't care where you're going. Just go somewhere. Walk towards something.
And destiny will find you.
And destiny will find you. That's it.
Folks, I'm so happy she came here. She shared some really important information with us. There's a lot more to her story. I don't think this will be the last time we'll have her. And we're rooting for you in your next show, whatever it is.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I got to meet you. So thank you so much for coming to have fun with us last night. Thank you for being a part of the show. And we're going to be following you, Juliana Nura. And remember, folks, no matter what you've been through in life, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how hopeless it may seem, as long as you have air in your lungs, you can always make a comeback. This is Beck Lover. You're watching the Beck Lover podcast with Juliana Nura. Till the next time.
Thank you so much.
Ciao. Beck Lover.